All right. Thank you very much for joining us in this workshop today. Good afternoon. And assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So let's begin. And before we begin, let us do some checks over here. I have switched on the recording, and Shafaq is the co-host. And a couple of things. If you can see me, and you can see my presentation screen, and you can hear my voice clearly, then anyone can write in chat window the digit 3. That means my voice is clear, screen is visible, and I am also visible. So if you can just write digit 3 in the chat window, that will be helpful for me. Okay. All right. So my voice is also clear. Thank you so much. Let's begin and start. All right. So a word of thanks first. First, I like to thank you so much here for joining us in this workshop today. And this shows that you are serious and you are passionate about changing in such something in your career. And of course, we are thankful to the team who have put up this workshop and they have publicized it and worked on the presentation, giving their suggestions. And last but not the least, our families who have given their all support so that I could here stand in front of you doing this workshop. Some ground rules before you move on. Let me see if someone here in the chat window. Okay. All right. So let's some ground rules. What are the ground rules? Timings we have started at 1 and inshallah we'll finish by 1 hour or maybe a few minutes little late plus minus. So please bear with me if it exceeds a little bit after 1 hour. But inshallah we'll try our best to finish in 1 hour. Inshallah. What if I get disconnected from Zoom? So if I get disconnected, please stay here in the meeting. I'll change my connection and somehow try to come back. So let's say if I did not return back by 5 minutes, that means there's something seriously wrong. And then Shafaq can take care of the workshop and maybe bring it to the end. But this is may Allah forbid. Usage of mobile phones. Well, I would sincerely, humbly, strongly, and seriously suggest that you put away your mobile phones or keep them away for some time for the entire duration of this workshop. Why? Because once you have your phone in your hand, your focus goes to the phone and you are no more here in the workshop. So since you have spare time for this workshop and you have come here to make some difference in your life and somebody else's life, we would like you to take as much benefit out of this workshop as possible. So keep them away, or at least put them on silent. Rename yourself with your real name and years of experience so that we could know which age bracket you're coming from, how many years of experience you have, so that we can address the contents accordingly. So this is very important. Cameras and mics, please keep your mobile cameras and mics closed at all times. And question answer, yes. If you have a question anytime, please feel free to raise a question. You can type your question in the chat window, or you can raise your hand and and if I'm vigilant enough to see your hand, I can stop myself and respond to your question, inshallah. Chat window responses we'll read aloud if it is for everyone, and we will not read aloud if it is only for me. So these are a few ground rules so that we can make our journey comfortable and peaceful for the next 1 hour, inshallah. So let us begin. And I would like to start with a question first. And the question is that like this, that imagine you are 95 years old and it is one fine evening, beautiful weather, winter, where everyone from your family is together and enjoying the time. So it is you, it is your children, your grandchildren, and maybe some of the great grandchildren as well. So in one of the children, there is a young girl and her name is Sarah. Sarah is around 17 or 18 years of age and she comes to you. And with all her love and affection, Sarah asks you a question. Sarah says that Darjan, Darjan, Jaddi, whatever that she addresses you with, the title. So she says that we would like you to tell us the greatest accomplishment of your life. I repeat, greatest accomplishment of your life so that you can inspire everyone around. So now this is Sarah asking you. So I would like you to write your notes not in the chat window. Well, if you want to write in a chat window, this is fine. But I would like you to write your notes, whatever that you have in your notebook. And you, as we progress through the session, we will be asking you to write some other information as well. So I would like you to write your response in your notebook. What you would like to tell Sarah. I repeat, what you would like to tell Sarah at that time when you are 95 years old. Okay, so there's some here response. Okay, so Sarah's question is that please tell us about your greatest accomplishment of your life so that every one of us becomes inspired. So this is Sarah's question to you. What you would like to tell Sarah at that time? So Sarah wants to be inspired by you. So I'll keep myself quiet for a few seconds till you write your response. And by the way, I did not tell you about one more thing, that whatever notes that you make, please go and share with people, because information not shared flies away very quickly or it evaporates. Okay, so let me wait for a few seconds here and then we'll move ahead. All right. Okay. So now you have a response and now it's in your diary, and now let's move on further. So I would like to ask you a question, that what does career mean to you? Anything. If someone wants to open his mic, he or she is more than welcome. You can speak up. You want to write in the chat window, this is fine with me as well. But I would like to hear from you what a career means to you. What a career means to you. So let me see my chat window if there's any response here. What career means to you? Anything that comes to your mind. There's no right or wrong answer over here. I would just like to understand what career means to you. Okay, growing in your role. Okay, growing in your role. All right, fine. This is fine. So Imran says growing in your role. All right. Okay, anyone else here? Okay, profession. Okay, and who else? Okay, that fulfills our passion at the same time runs our economic engine. Okay, thank you, Bilal. Setup says whatever we earn from combined with our aspiration. All right. Okay, so sum of job one did in his professional life. Okay, so thank you for all your inputs. Income. Okay, interesting. Okay, fine. All right, so there are a few definitions and there are a few aspects over here. Some people are talking about aspirations, some people are talking about passion, some people are talking about a combination of aspirations, passions with some money factor and all that. So this is all what career or what a career means to you. This is your definition. So let's move on and see what are the dictionary definitions of career. Okay, so some says, Tamana says purpose, all right. And Ali says fulfill your dreams. Okay, interesting inputs. Thank you so much. So let's move on. Let us see what some of the dictionaries say about career. So Merriam-Webster says a profession for which one trains and which is undertaken as a permanent calling. All right, so that means there is some level of training involved. You by some training you develop some skills and then excuse me, and then you believe that you are this is your main role of your life. It's a permanent calling. Okay, what else is career? So the Cambridge Dictionary says the job or series of jobs, okay, one and more that you do during your working life, especially if you're continuing to get better jobs. That means you have to raise your level and earn more money. So this is Cambridge Dictionary definition. Excuse me. So these are two definitions, and of course there are more definitions, and some of the definitions that you also came up with. All right, so let's move on. Well, when we look at your definitions and when we look at some dictionary definitions, of course, there's something that we need to agree upon so that we can move ahead together. In our definition, career is nothing but a of vision of you in your professional role. Or in other words, career is your professional role vision. So what is vision? Vision is a picture that you want to see. That means whatever that we want to see, you and me want to see in the role of our profession, that is career, right? And we would like to continue to grow further. So nothing but a picture. So this involves or engage or includes money as well, providing for your family and whatnot. So something that you love doing, networking with friends and growth, whatnot. If anything else is missing here, these 3 or 4 dots, you can write in the chat window so that we can talk about this. So that means this is part of the vision. Whatever that you want to write in the chat window, you believe that it's part of your career vision. So if you have something to share, please go ahead and write. So I'll just pause for a few seconds. If I saw something in the chat window, I'll read out for you, and then we will move on. Anything that is part of your career vision, but that has not been mentioned over here. Anything? Okay. All right. So nothing so far. So I believe that this definition more or less covers everything, whatever that we can talk about career or that we whatever that we may have. Let's move on. So first and the foremost thing is the clarity of vision means what we want to see in our professional role. This is the first step in career. So I in my coaching career when I happen to meet people. Okay. So Ahmed Tamimi says create value. Thank you, Ahmed, for this. Creating value for yourself. So I assume that you mean creating value for yourself and creating value for other people. Thank you. So coming back to the point, when we talk about vision, means vision is the picture of the future that we want to see. I repeat, picture of the future that we want to see. No one can predict the future. We always have desire about the future. All right. So I ask many people what you would like to see in your career 5 years down the line, and they are just blank. They have absolutely no idea about where they would like to see 5 years down the line. So being clear is the first and the foremost step as to what you want to see. Whether it is right or wrong, we need to be clear in whatever that we want to achieve. So on the contrary, I happened to coach recently a person who is just 32 years old, and at the age of 32 years, when I asked him what he would like to see after 5 years down the line, he was very clear, crystal clear answer. He said, "I would like to be the CEO of the company that I'm working for." Very clear answer, Marshall. Now we are not going into the logistics as to why does he want that and then what is he going to do and what not. But he is clear in his vision. Okay, so let's move on. Clarity only is not enough. Sometimes we face problems just by having clarity. What are the problems? So let me tell you a real life story over here. I happened to meet a man in Dubai, and I was attending a workshop, and so he was. He came all the way from Pakistan to attend the workshop. And this workshop that he was attending, it was also offered in Pakistan. So I was surprised that why a guy would fly all the way from Pakistan to Dubai just to attend this workshop. So I asked him that what made you come here? What brought you here? So he said, I'm the owner of one of the largest dairy networks in Pakistan, and for me money is nothing. So I thought let me have some outing and let's go to Dubai and come back, and that's why I'm here. And then he continued. He said that when I was young, I had some dreams, and I thought that I would become a CEO of a large company by the age of 55. I'll have some houses and I'll have some cars. I have this much big business and so on and so forth. But what happened is that I was able to attain my dreams when I was just 34. At the age of 34, he got everything whatever he had earlier dreamt about. Now he says that I have an issue here, and my issue is that I do not know why shall I live anymore. So I'm confused, totally confused, and that was the reason the guy flew all the way from Pakistan to Dubai to attend this workshop to develop clarity, about what he was already clear about the vision of his career, and he already, mashallah, had achieved, but he was not clear as to why he was why he had that vision. What was the purpose behind the vision? So that is where we see that most of the people, they reach, if they're able to reach, if they reach their career, their vision, they still don't get that satisfaction and the feeling of fulfillment, even though they have everything. Why? Because the purpose is missing here. So this brings us to another subject or the next level of career, that it is not enough to have a vision, career vision. This is, imagine this is a vision, unless it is backed by a strong purpose. So if there's a vision, means with this is the what, there has to be a why behind. So the what and the why are together. Why? Because this vision alone, for this guy who was just 20, 34 years old, he had a strong career vision, and he was able to achieve that vision, fulfill. The purpose was missing. So when the purpose was missing, he was like uh, oscillating like pendulum, or what you call moving like a pendulum, and asking and questioning and re-questioning himself about whatever that he was doing. Okay, so coming back to the point, let's move on. So what we have done so far is the vision, the clarity of the vision, and the clarity of purpose. Why are we doing what we are doing? All right, so let's go further. So now we have covered two stages of our journey today. One is the clarity of vision, and next is the clarity of purpose. Why do I want that? All right, so some people say that I don't have a clarity about my purpose. Means for him, career is just a career vision. He says, why do I have to have a purpose behind that? So let's take a deeper dive here. And some of the people, they say that I am not able to think about the purpose that I want to have in my career. So for this kind of people, let us take a deeper dive. So the question is that how do we include the purposefulness? So if we want to build a strong vision based by or backed by a strong purpose behind, this is purposefulness. How do we create the purposefulness? So I would like to invite you to a different question, which is this. So what happens when you throw a small rock in a pond of water? What happens? You can open your mic and give me some response. Anyone can jump in the picture and say out. What happens when you throw a small rock in the water? No chat windows, please. Anyone? Guys, come on. Okay. So still there are some people who would like
Waves,
to. Okay, waves. Okay.
waves.
Yes, thank you very much. Waves are generated. Yes. It drowns. Yes. Before it drowns. Something else. Yes, it
We
splashes
create
water.
ripples.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. So it splashes water, waves, and yeah, create pulse, what do you go? Yeah, waves and pulses, whatever
Ripples,
you may call it. Yeah. Yes. All right.
drops.
Ripples. All right. Drops. Yes. One more thing. At least one more thing. Ripples, waves. Fine. Before it drowns, it splashes water. What else? Touches the surface.
Impact. It creates the impact in its
Okay.
surrounding.
Sound. Thank you very much. Sound. Yes. There's one last thing. One last thing before we move on, guys. Before we move on, one last thing. Although the question is not significant, but I would like to. Okay, rock sinks, fine. Ultimately, the rock sinks, but before it sinks down, four things happen. Ripples, you said ripples. It creates some kind of sound, and it splashes water. It flies. No, it does not fly. Waves. Someone already said waves. Yes, there's one more thing which happens, and that is creation of some bubbles on the surface of water before the rock sinks down. Four things happen before a small rock sinks down and sits in the bed of the water pond. My question over here, my question is here that what is the impact that you would like to create in this world by your presence? I would like you to think about this for a moment and write in your notebook the impact that I would like to create. So, just to help you out, please phrase your sentence in your notebook like this, that the impact that I would like to create by my presence in this world is this, whatever. Be it small or large, it has to be clear, period. So I'll keep myself quiet for a few minutes. Oh, not for a few minutes. Less than a minute. This is the impact that I would like to create. Okay. Okay, so let's move on. Now someone has written something in chat window. Okay. Current impact or impact that I would like to create. Okay, no. We are talking about the impact that you would like to create. Okay, someone he has renamed himself or herself as you. So I'm confused. Is it me or is it the other person who is talking to me? So it's a you talking to everyone. All right. So please rename yourself with your real name. Sometimes people appear as Galaxy A6, Apple i3, iPhone, and so on and so forth. So it becomes very confusing. Am I speaking to Apple iPhone or am I speaking to Galaxy or is it a real person or a robot behind here? Okay, better quality of people. Right. All right. Thank you, Sada, for this response. Let's move on. So whatever that you have written here in your notebook, it will stay here. I want to create immense opportunities for people to create wealth. All right. Thank you, Furkan, for your inputs. So this is the impact that you want to create in this world. Let's move on. Okay. What's next? So the question is that what on earth can you impact other than people? What on earth can you impact other than people? Anyone, anyone. Well, you are talking about the impact. So I'll just, all right, animals, all right. Thank you for your input. Animals, environment, all right. Okay, all right. So let me ask you something. When you're working with animals, or let's say animals are part of our environment, or when you're working on your environment, you are actually or indirectly working for people because everything is coming back to your life, right? So just give me a second. Let me close the camera, please. Guys, if you can keep your cameras closed, I'll be really thankful to you. Thank you. So whatever that you talk about, we live in this world. So ultimately, the impact is going to shift to the human beings. That means you are talking about the people. Yes. All right. So thank you, Sada, for organization of world, and ultimately you are impacting yourself. That means whatever that you're working on, it is creating an impact on people, whether it's environment, it's animals, or it's people, or organizations, or whatever. So it's the impact on the people. So that means one thing that we have furnished that it is just to help you develop your impact statement more clearly. That whenever you talk about the impact, talk about people and having a positive impact on people. So this will help you phrase your impact statement clearly, inshallah. Let's move on. So what else is required? We have talked about two things so far: the vision and the clarity of purpose, means the what and the why. Now let's talk a little bit about how are we going to do what we are going to do or what we are talking about, which is the prerequisites. So what are the prerequisites here? Three basic prerequisites. In fact, more than three, but over here in this gear, you will find only three. And knowing about these prerequisites will surely help you. So let's see one after the other. What are these prerequisites all about? So the first one is passion. A lot of people find that you'll find them talking about passion. Well, I'm passionate about software development. I'm passionate about coding. I'm passionate about gardening, or I'm passionate about painting and whatnot. Different people, different inputs, and you'll find them passionate about something that they really love. Okay, so all right, so what is passion? Well, people love something, but actually the passion word derives from a word which is called passio. And passio from Latin means something that you are ready to suffer for, something that you are ready to give some sacrifice for. That is called passion. So so that means that you love something up to such a high extent that you are ready to willing to you're ready and willing to make some sacrifices or to bear some losses in order to make this passion work, or in order to make this thing move from this to this, and so on and so forth. So maybe you're passionate about gardening, maybe you're passionate about cooking or painting or whatever. That means you're able to take some pain for this. All right. Now, let's come back to the question that you just answered. When we are talking about the impact, we talked about people. So now I would like you to connect your passion and tell me what your passion has to do with your impact. Is it connected, interconnected, or totally disconnected? It is an important point. I would like you to think about this before we move on. So, what are you passionate about? What is that something that will create a lot of energy in you, so that you are ready and willing to make some sacrifices for that, to make it move from one level to the other? What is that something that you're passionate about? Let me just go to the chat window and see if there's some responses over here. Well, it is free of cost. What is free of cost? I don't understand. If you're talking about this workshop, yes, it is of free of cost, of course. Thank you very much for joining us, and stay with us. Inshallah, you will like this and you will find it useful, inshallah. Let's move on. So we have talked about passion, which is one of the ingredients, and it is not alone. So how it is not alone, you will see it shortly, but let us move through the other things. So now let's talk about strength and skills. So these are two separate things, and I would like you to understand them separately. So what is strength? Strength means a natural inclination. You may call it a natural talent. You may call it a natural power, or whatever you may call it. But this is something that we need not learn. We have a natural disposition towards that. And what are those strengths? We'll talk about them shortly. On the contrast, a skill is something that you can learn by and learn and raise your level. In maybe it's parenting a skill, maybe it's driving, or it is anything that you have learned. Maybe you are a doctor, you are a teacher, you are an accountant. These all are skills that you have learned over a period of time. So let's look at another definition. Strength might be your ability to communicate, as we mentioned, whereas you might develop skills in clinical note taking. So this is just an example. So I'm hopeful that you're able to understand the difference between strength and skills. These are two things different and exclusive to each other. So let's move on further. So why is it important that you play on your strengths? Why it is important that you leverage your strengths? And before anything else, why it is important that you must know your strengths? So let's take an example over here. So this is a small yacht. It does not have a Indian poor yacht, which has only um, uh, the mainsail, a big cloth mainsail, and the jib. So this poor yacht, well, it could be a fun and interesting activity as well. It starts from north, and this is the wind direction, north to south. The wind is southbound. Okay. So, okay, I'll come to you, Saraf. I'll address your point about the strengths. Complete example, few more examples of the strengths. Let us complete this example first, and then we'll go. Fine. So now the wind direction is from north to south, and this yard has started, embarked upon the journey. You can see that over here, the direction of mainsail and the jib. And you can also see the mainsail and the jib moving here and there, and there is no problem in here. It is a smooth sail. The actual challenge starts when it has to take a right turn from here, and now again a right turn, and now it has to move against the direction of wind. I repeat, the actual challenge is when this small yacht starts sailing against the direction of wind, and now it cannot go straight. It has to go in a zigzag direction. So why? Because it is sailing against the wind. So a lot of maneuvering is required, a lot of force is required, a lot of techniques is required, and it is not easy. Similarly, people who have ridden bicycles in their childhood or even now, some of them they must have bicycles, must be having a bicycle. They know that if it is uphill, it is very difficult to ride a bicycle unless you have gears, Or if the wind, if you're cycling against the wind, again it is very tough to maintain the speed. So similarly, our strengths, if a strength, we are moving along the strength, like in the same direction, it becomes the movement is become it becomes like a smooth flow. But if imagine if we are sailing against the wind, it's like the strength is in this direction, and we are trying to travel in this direction. That means both directions are different. It is just like sailing against the wind. It is just like cycling against the wind. A lot of people, they do not know their strengths, and for their entire lifetime they continue to sail against their strengths. They continue to drive against their natural abilities, and they continue to struggle. So let's excuse me, let's move on. Donald Clifton has done some extensive research over here, and what he has done, he has classified 34 different strengths under four classified categories. So, what are those categories? Executing, influencing, relationship building, and strategic thinking. Well, when I happen to ask many people, especially the young ones, they say I'm very good at studying. Fine, good at studying is not a strength. You need to understand. Fine, good studying maybe is an outcome of some of your strengths listed here. Maybe you are able to focus. So if you are able to focus, this you are here. Maybe you are able to be good in studies because you are a disciplined person. So that means again you have that you fall mostly over here. Maybe this is your strength. You are an executor. Well, it does not necessarily mean that a person has to be in only one of these four categories. No, no, no. A person can be somewhere over here and someone somewhere over here, but primarily it is important that a person knows where he or she is mostly falling in, which of these four categories. Some people are good in communication skills. Their natural ability is to speak, let's say, fluently or speak in a way which is liked by other people. So they have good relationships. So they are actually influencer or relationship builder, either of them. So we can see influencing. There's something called woo. Woo factor is your ability to inspire other people. You remember Sarah came to you and Sarah asked you a question, what you would like to tell us about your accomplishments that would inspire everyone around, right? Okay, so I have someone here in the chat window. Let me see, have a quick look. Okay, mine are all right. Thank you, Bilal, for sharing here. Strategic. All right, thank you. All right. So coming back to the point, there could be strengths could be anywhere here. Now the question is that how many of us are aware of our own strengths? People spend lifetime and they are not aware about those strengths, about those their strengths. So we recommend that you go and take the test. Maybe it's just $20. So at least in $20, you'll get to know your top five strengths. All right. So I know a person who is fantastic in ideation or futuristic, but the guy is a very poor executor, and he generates a lot of ideas but not able to execute because when he tries to execute, he plays against his strength, and he's been continuously failing over a period of time. So this is what I have been watching from an outsider's perspective. So we sort of, I believe that I have addressed your points. So these are the strengths, and I've given you some examples over here as well, like communication skills, being able to see deeper in the future, far-sightedness, or whatever you may call it. So these are different strengths. Consistency is one of the strengths that people have. Being able to do something over a period of time. Yes, strengths are innate. You're able to do something over a period of time with consistency. So this is one of the strengths. So let's move on. So we have talked a little bit about the strengths, and now we move on further. Okay. So the question is, sort of, can we build upon or developing some strengths? Yes, you can. Net strengths are we are talking about this. So probably sort of you are ahead of me in this workshop. Please hold on to your question. Let me come to you by myself. So please hang on. All right. Now the question is that we talked about so far that the clarity of what do we want? and the clarity of why. And then we are talking about some other prerequisites. And the first prerequisite we talked about was passion, and the second prerequisite was leveraging your strengths. Now let's see, how do you leverage your strengths? How do you do that? Leverage your strengths by developing your skills. A skill is something that could be learned. We talked about skills earlier. Maybe clinical note taking is a skill, and gardening is a skill that someone could learn. Someone who is zero in gardening can learn gardening. Parenting is a skill. Interestingly, a lot of parents who become parents and they have absolutely no idea about how to do parenting, how to do effective parenting. So I happened to attend a training, not a training actually. I happened to speak in one of the conferences in October 2018 where I was talking about leadership. So this conference happened in Riyadh, and so they invited me as one of the speakers. So Alhamdulillah, I was able to go and speak. Now, in this leadership context, by the way, I just asked them a question that guys, out of all these maybe 50, 100 people, sitting in the conference room, I asked them, how many of you have read at least one book on parenting? Trust my words, only three hands were raised. Out of the whole a lot of people, three hands came up who had read at least one book on parenting. Then I asked, tell me who has read at least two books on parenting. So the three hands which were earlier raised, they also went down, and only one hand continued to be raised. So out of 50 to 100 people, or 50 plus people, only one person had read some book on parenting. We spend a lot of time on reading our technical books, engineering books, accounting books, medicine books, whatever you may call this. I call this a technical book. So we spend a lot of time on technical books, but we spend very less time on developing our skills. All right, so let's come back to the subject of skills. So skills are categorized in three different categories. Mostly you will find people talking about the hard skill and the soft skill, and you can see the definitions over here. I need not go into detail. But yes, I would like to tell you something different over here. When you talk about the career, you talk about your success in your career, you need to build your strength and leverage your strengths by developing your skills. How do you do that? By developing your hard skills, by developing your soft skills. What are soft skills? Interpersonal communication and collaboration, empathy, social and emotional intelligence. I come across on a day-to-day basis people who work in teams, but they are not able to collaborate with each other towards a shared goal, although they are wonderful in their technical fields, but they do not know. I can bring you tons and tons of examples where people sitting next to each other, working on the same project, but not even passing or exchanging greetings to each other because they are upset or angry with each other. And the who is suffering ultimately? The project is suffering. So multiple examples. People they do not know how to. I'm talking about a large majority of people. I don't say that you also have a similar challenge here, but a large majority of people, especially the people who are technical minded. So Bilal says, please repeat last question you are answering on this slide, sir. Last question. I don't know the last question. What was the question? Bilal, if you can just open your mic and speak up, I have no problem at all. So
Yes,
we are
sir.
not,
You were answering you asked some question, and then you started that we can do this by developing these hard and soft skills. So I
okay.
was just
Okay.
asking what was the question. What
All right.
we
Okay. Sorry. So we talked about the vision and talked about the purpose, and then we talked about the strength. That how do you, once you know the strengths, how do you leverage your strengths? How do you leverage? By developing your hard and soft skills and your middle skills as well. And what are those middle skills? Manners, personal organization, eating, cleaning, etiquette, how to talk, when to control your voice, and things like that. These are many things which are called middle skills. Neither they are soft nor they are hard, but they work a great deal in making your life successful. For instance, if if you are a part of a WhatsApp group, let's suppose I'm giving you a very small example. So part of a WhatsApp group does not require or need any hard skill. You can just be a part of WhatsApp group and that's it. Now, part of being part of WhatsApp group does require some soft skills, whether interpersonal communication and skills. What about middle skills? I believe that middle skills are a major requirement, or a major need of being a member of the or the WhatsApp group. By because it it entails you, how do you speak to people, what should be your tone of voice, when you should be speaking and when should you be keeping your mouth shut. It all depends on your middle skills. So people sometimes they do not know what to send in a group and what will affect the other people, whatever they should be saying, and in what tone and whatnot. So these are all called all different such sets of skill over here. Maybe some people may say that soft skills and middle skills are all same thing. Fine, they may be all same thing. All you need to see is that are you covering well the mannerism, the etiquettes, and all that. Maybe you may not be able to cover them in the soft skills. So let's move on further. All right. So we talked about strengths and we talked about the list of strengths I showed you, and then let's talk a little bit about their skills as well. So you have a vision, now you have a purpose, and now we are talking about strengths, and we are talking about now skills as well. Now I would like you to write a list of skills, write a list of skills that will help you reach wherever you want to reach. So let me give you another example from the same conference where I had the opportunity to go and speak. So during the session, one of the ladies over there, she came to me and she asked me, "Are you Nair?" I said, "Yes, I'm Nair." So she said, I need some few minutes from you." Okay, hard skills. Okay, thank you very much for bringing my attention to hard skills. Let me go back. Hard skills are these skills which are learned over a period of time, which are accounting, programming, driving, procurement, let's say, or even marketing. All these are hard skills for which there is some training required. So you attend some kind of course and or a training, and initially your level in that skill was lower, and then finally by attending training you continue to rise, and now you have become an expert in that skill. So these are all hard skills which you can learn over a period of time. So I hope I have answered your question, and thank you very much for bringing my attention. Sometimes, in the flow, I just forget about a couple of things, and so thank you for pulling me back again. Let's move on. All right. So what we're talking about? Yes, I was talking about creation of a list about your skills. What skills are you talking about? So coming back to the example, that Saudi lady, she came and she said, I would like to spend a few minutes. I would like you to spend a few minutes with me, helping me develop clarity in my vision. So okay, what do you want? So she said that I would like to be in a leadership role 5 years down the line. All right. So then I asked her what a leadership role looks like. So what are you doing in that leadership role, and why is that important to you, and whatnot? So after the initial conversation, she came up with five different things in her leadership role, five different skills. Then I asked her, what is your, let me just, Shafak, if you can mute whoever is unmuted. Thank you so much. Okay, just a minute. All right. I'm sorry. So she came up with five different things, and then I asked her to rate herself in each of them as to what is her level in each of those skills. So she started coming up. So let's say my ability to mentor other people is let's say 2 by 5 or 3 by 5, and then my ability to communicate well with other people was 6 by 10, and so on and so forth. Sorry, 2 out of 10 and 6 out of 10 and so on and so forth. So she rated herself in five these skills. I said, okay, would you like to go up in let's say mentoring skill? And she said yes. Okay, how can I do that? She said, I think I need to read about mentoring skills. So, okay, what can you do? So she said, if you can recommend me a book, I'll start reading. So I gave her a recommended book about mentoring, and she started reading. Not only that, she started reading, she started mentoring her colleagues in her company and some of the other students from local universities here. So, and mashallah, over a period of a few months, and she started and growing, and Her employers also saw that growth, and she was offered the next higher position. So coming back to the point, it's very important that you know what strengths you have and what skills are required to leverage those strengths. All right, so let's move on further. So if you're not aware about your strengths and skills, ask yourself in what ways I can be useful for other people. So this question alone will help you identify some of your strengths and some of your skills that may be required. Some of the skills you might have already. It's just a matter of polishing them. Just polishing them further, and maybe you'll start shining. All right. Now let's move to the second part of the passion. You remember we talked about the passion? Passion alone is not enough. Passion with perseverance, this is called grit. And Angela Duckworth was probably one of the first people who came up with this definition of grit, or who coined this term grit. Well, the dictionary already contained this word since long, but no one ever spoke about grit. So she gave the word grit the required definition, and she wrote a book about this, and then a lot of people started talking about grit. So what is grit? Grit is the combination of passion and perseverance both. Perseverance is called sabr in Arabic, and your ability to stick to something, even if it is sometimes maybe it's not working, maybe it is some adversity or whatever different or difficult or challenging times. But your passion, you are still passionate about this, but your perseverance will help you stick to your passion. You just don't give up, and you stay there for a long time till you reach the success. So grit is one of the most important success ingredient, I would say. All right, so guys, we have talked about so far. Okay, someone here. Being useful for others is called skill. Well, being useful for others is not a skill, but being useful in what sense? Let me go back to my question. In what ways? What ways can I be useful? This is the question. So if what ways can you be useful, you can be useful for other people, this will help you identify some of your strengths and some of your skills that you have, and maybe you can build on top of them. Because remember this, it is always easier to, you already, let's say you have a natural inclination towards something, or you have already a skill which is 5 out of 10. It is easier to make it 6 out of 10 or 7 out of 10. You have a natural ability or disposition or a strength, it is easier to build on top of it rather than you start building upon something which is not at all your strength. It will, that means you are continuing to ride against the wind. So this is what I meant over here. All right, so let's move on. So we talked about three things so far, which is the vision, the purpose, and some of the prerequisites. So guys, let's move to the last part. And the last part is about some powerful habits. All right, all right. So what are those powerful habits? Let's run some polls over here. So, Abdurrahman, if you can run this poll number one, which is on a scale of 1 to 10, how much are you satisfied with your career? I would like you to write in the poll your response. And of course, at the same time, keep noting down your response in your notebook so that you can do some self-reflection later. So here is the first poll. We have 30 seconds to respond so that we can move quickly. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much are you happy and satisfied with your career? Okay. All right. Very interesting statistics. Okay. Okay. So 31%. Okay. See, end polling. Let me end the poll. Show share results. So these are the results of the polling. All right. Now see, the highest percentage is 31%. 31% people are saying that they are as satisfied and happy with their career as 8 out of 10. So that means only 30% people are as satisfied. So what about the remaining 70% people? That means they are not as satisfied as 8 out of 10. So what is their percentage? So what is the percentage over here is 19%, which is, let's say, close to 10% are happier even more. So let's take 8 out of 10 and more. So this is 31 plus 19 is like 50%. Okay, 56% people are happy and satisfied as much as like 8 out of 10, 8 or plus out of 10. Thank you very much, which is a very good result. All right, so let's move on further. Okay, so let's go to the next question. So poll number two is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like yourself? How much do you like yourself? On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like yourself? And I would like you to write your response in your notebook. Okay, so far only 14 people have voted. How many people are? We have 27 people here on board, but only 14 people voted. So where are the other responses? Okay, so 14. Okay, let's describe or divide this by 5 and below 5 and above 5. All right, so below 5 and above 5 is how many people? Okay, sharing for. All right, thank you, Abdurrahman, for sharing the results here. Okay, so how many responses here? All right, so you can see the response over here, sharing poll results. Okay, so 21% people, they like themselves on a scale of 1 to 10. Now, why do I ask this question over here? This is very important to understand that people like people who like themselves. It is a very natural phenomenon. Don't ask me why. Why is it like that? But people like people who like themselves. So I was speaking to, in one of my coaching conversation, I was speaking to the person, and he says people don't like me and much, and then I asked the person, how much do you like yourself? And the guy said, no, I don't like myself really much either. So that's why the other people don't like you. So it all depends. Now, what connection does it have with career? It is very much interconnected as to how much value do you give to yourself. So satisfaction with your career and the value of you liking yourself are very closely related. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. Let's go to poll number three. How many books do you read in a year other than related to your own field, means own technical field, doctor, medicine, engineering, and whatever? Okay. All right. So 66% people voted only, but out of those 66%, thank you very much for running this poll, and let's look at the results. All right. So 44% people did say that they do not read any books. Okay. And then there's some 31%, 1 to 2 books a year. That means in a period of 6 months, they read one book. Okay, so there is only 13% of people, or only two people here in this audience who happen to read more than 10 books a year. That means on an average basis, maybe they read one book a month, or maybe more, one book a week, or so on and so forth. So guys, I want to tell you something over here. If you really want to be successful in your career, then not only the career clarity will work, the purpose will work. No, some skills are also required. And one of the skills is ability to read books, or habits is ability to read books. Why? Because if you remain technical, maybe you might have read so many engineering books or accounting books and so on and so forth to become at par in your professional a professional skill level, which is called hard skill. What about soft skills? Employers do not want people with low soft skills. They want people who are equally good in soft skills. These books help you raise your level in soft skills. Maybe you are good at hard skills. What about soft skills? So let's move on to the next poll. Next poll is this. On a scale of 1 to 10, how well do you utilize your time? It's your own rating, and you are noting in your own notebook. All right, so 58% people voted. All right. All right, so let's take a look here on the poll results. So around 36% people, and if you say, if you combine them together, five, less than five or greater than five. So it is 36 and plus 7, 7, 14, 21, 9, 21, okay, 30. All right. So around 66% of people say that they do not utilize their time effectively. Means they could have utilized their time more effectively. Only 1% says that I utilize my time as effective as 10 out of 10, which is amazing. So congratulations to you, mashallah, if you have been utilizing your time in such a good manner. So what is the purpose of these questions? So I was speaking to someone who wanted to become a leadership trainer. So I happened to coach this person many years back. So you don't know where this person is based in the United States, Pakistan, and somewhere in the world. So this guy was working somewhere as a full-time employment, in a full-time employment, and wanted to become a leadership trainer. So I asked him that you have got so many things to do, and he came up with so many different tasks to do. I asked him, how much time do you have on your discretion at your discretion every day? He said only 45 minutes, because by the time I come back home, I need to have some family time. Only 45 minutes a day. But then how are you going to squeeze your time? Well, he says, I need to do something about this. Okay. Then I asked him, by the way, what do you do over weekend mornings? Early mornings, Fridays or Saturdays or Sundays, whatever, the weekend days. He says, I have to sleep. I have to catch up my sleep. Okay, so why do you have to sleep till late in the afternoon? So he said, because I hang out late with my friends on the previous night, and I need to catch up with my sleep. So how do you? Why do you hang out with your friends? Which one is more important, becoming a leadership trainer or hanging out with friends? What is more important to you? So now that the guy was very wise, he got the idea and he started working on it, mashallah. So then I came to know that he has been, after Fajr, he has been up and he stopped sleeping, and those were quite few hours that he used to get on the weekend mornings working on his vision, started developing himself. So let us move on to the next question. And next question is, how much time do you spend in a week on social media which is not related to your skill development? Okay, it is a week, per week. Okay, sorry, I'm sorry. The question is per day, per day. So the response should be per day, not per week. Okay, so 0 to 2 hours per day. All right. So 44% of people, if you can show the results, yeah, thank you. All right, so highest level is 44% people, which is close to 50%. People are saying that they spend around 2 hours a day on social media, which is not relevant to their skill development. Okay, so let's move on further. No, 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 no. Wait, wait, wait. Let me conclude this point further. See this. I would like you to see this, that 44% is spending 2 hours. 28% people is spending 2 to 3 hours a day, every day, And then there are 17% people who spend 5+ hours in a day. So collectively speaking, if you add them together, it is 44 plus 28. It is like um, around 70% of the people are spending a large amount of time on social media, which is not related to their technical development. This is just, I just wanted you to have a look at it. Let's move on. So what is our next question? Let's go to poll number 6. How much time do you spend on a weekly basis to keep yourself physically fit? Physical fitness, week to week basis. Okay. So 30. All right. So yes, thank you so much for your prompt action, Abdurrahman. All right. So some people no time at all. 32% people are saying no time at all. Okay. 1 to 2 hours. Okay. 37% people are saying 1 to 2 hours. All right. There are some people who spend 5+ hours, which is 11%. Okay, a smaller minority spends this much amount of time, right? But still, in our group, we have people over here, which is like close to 1/3 of the people who spend no time at all in on their physical fitness. Physical fitness carries a great deal of importance linking to your career. Guys, I would like you to understand this, why it is interlinked together, because physical fitness is directly related to your care about yourself and your liking about yourself, and which is reflecting on your personality. People, they do not have to say something. They can just let me just look at this chat window. Okay, what is the benefit of physical fitness? Okay, so ZK, physical fitness. Yeah, this is what we are talking about. When you're talking when you are spending time on your physical fitness, actually you are indirectly helping your career to progress. I'll tell you how. I happen to coach a manager, and he was an executive manager leading a team of 20 plus people. And this guy was around 130 plus kilograms of weight. And he said that I feel really terrible when people look at my belly and they are not looking at my performance, whatever I'm doing. And this was his comment, by the way. And he says that at one point in time, I also received these comments that you cannot maintain yourself. How on earth are you going to maintain the project? So physical fitness is, it makes a great deal of impact on your career. People who are physically fit, they are seen as someone who is of higher value than the other people who do not put any time or spend any time in physical fitness. Direct or indirect link to your career. All right. So we have talked about four different things. Let's join the puzzle pieces together. The clarity in the vision, the purpose behind it, the strength, skills, and the grit, which was the third thing. And fourth one was backed by powerful habits. So these were the four basic ingredients. So what happens? Some people have hodgepodge career. They have no vision at all. Their strengths are in different direction, purpose somehow not known, misaligned with the vision. They want to do something different, but their purpose does not support them, and their skills in a different direction. And habits are all messed up habits, like sleeping, wasting a long amount of time over the weekends, and not being able to do, or not doing anything for their career. I happened to meet a Saudi gentleman who was a CEO of a large company which manufactures food products. So it is one of the top three companies here in Saudi Arabia. And interestingly, the guy said that I hate to hang out with my friends late on Thursday evenings. I said, why? He said, because I want my Friday to be equally productive as my Thursday. So once I wake up for Fajr, I don't sleep. And then I have a similar routine on Saturdays, so that I can maintain my Sunday mornings to be productive. People who hang out late night on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, let's say, They have a disastrous day on Sunday morning. They are tired, and the fatigue level is all time high. So he said, I would like my all days to be equally productive. So this is what he has been doing, and this is a real life example. So let's go for something else, some important aspects other than whatever that we have discussed. Let me just look at my watch. So, and this is the last slide of this workshop. See, who do you hang out with? So I would, these are again some alarms. I would like you to understand these aspects and see and look at yourself from an outsider's perspective. So what are these things? See, who do you hang out with? Are they accomplished people or otherwise? What do you expose yourself to? What content do you consume on WhatsApp or internet? Some people you will find they share everything that comes to them on WhatsApp. Guys, do you have time to watch all those video clips that come to you on WhatsApp? And then on top of it, do you have so much of time to share it with other people? And what is your career aspirations? What are you going to tell Sarah? Are you developing your skills to be able to inspire Sarah? Are you doing that? If yes, excellent. If not, why not? How many experts are you connected to at LinkedIn where you want to develop your career? Every one of us has career inspirations, but are we doing what we should have been doing? How much time do you spend with yourself on a weekly basis? It's a critically important requirement that you spend time with yourself, not with your phone, not with your laptop. Keep them away, unplug, spend time with yourself. Think about yourself and the impact that you want to create, and how are you going to create that impact using your strength and skills. And most importantly, how much do you pray for your professional success and at what time? So Allah also knows who is how sincere he or she is, and the level of sincerity comes truly or becomes very well, or it manifests itself. The level of sincerity becomes very clear when someone wakes up early in the morning and asks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the betterment. So I can tell you multiple stories from my own life, although time does not permit here. Multiple stories that when I started praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah, this is what I think is better for me, make it easy for me. And Allah made it easy for me. Someone here in the chat window, sir, you can share these slides at the end. These slides will be uploaded as a full presentation on our Facebook page. Abdul Rahman, if you can post the Facebook link over here, you can go to MUMKIN page, and inshallah you will find the whole presentation over there. Inshallah. All right. So last stage of this, everyone has inspirations. You know, where do you want to go? The guy I told you about, he wanted to become the CEO of the company in just 5 years, the same company that he's working. He was very clear about where he wanted to go. But did, did he have the required clarity of where he was? Because imagine he wanted to go here, but is he here, 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 here? Where he is? It's very important that you know where you are so that you can start taking the steps towards where you want to go. When you call Uber to go to the airport, you know you are going to the airport, but you need to tell Uber where to come and pick you up from, right? Your current location. So if you are seriously interested about growing your career, it is important that you know where you are in your career, where you are in your different strengths and skill level, and so on and so forth. Remember, knowing is different. Whatever that you have known so far in last 1 hour, it is just knowing. It is still not doing. There's a difference between knowing and doing. If knowing was same as doing, people would have learned how to swim and how to drive without getting into the water, or without getting onto the driving seat and without an instructor. But this is not reality. So going forward, we would like you to go and scan this QR code. It will take you to Mumkin site, and you will find a form over there. And Abdul Rahman, if you can post the Mumkin form link directly, it can take them to the form. Fill out the form, speak to us, and let's sit together. Whoever fills out the form, he has an opportunity, or he or she has an opportunity to speak to one of our coaches at Mumkin. Have one-to-one session about your career, about your career aspirations, about about your the stock of the skills and strengths that you have, so that you can go where you really want to go. And it all depends on your level of commitment and seriousness. If you're really, really serious and committed about your career, we are sure that you will come and speak to us. So I want to give you an interesting example over here. Once I happened to coach a manager, and I asked him if there was only one thing in your life that you wanted to change, what that would have been. So he said, I would quit smoking. I asked him how important it is for you to quit smoking. He says 11 out of 10. It means as important, so much important. 11 out of 10. All right. Then I asked him, how committed are you? And then he said 2 out of 10. And then he started laughing because he knew that level 2 commitment, 10 out of 2, will bring him nowhere, will take him nowhere. So, guys, if you're really serious and if your level of commitment is higher, we would love to have a one-on-one session with you. Scan the form, scan the QR code, fill out the form, send it back to us, and one of us will get in touch with you, help you where you want to go. So, with this, we end our workshop. I would like to ask you one thing, that in this whole 1 hour of being together, what did you find useful that you're going to share it with? You can open your mic, you can speak out, you can write in a chat window, anything that will tell us that something that you found worth sharing over here. Anything that you found worth sharing. And now we are open for question answers. If you have any question answers, I'm here. I'm here to address them. Yes, I have someone respond in chat window. All right, everything was worth sharing. Thank you very much for for saying this. You know, well, it helps me feel elevated and being of value to you. Staying in contact and seek guidance with experts. All right, thank you. Most important thing is your sharing of relevant examples. All right, from your coach. All right, thank you so much for this. Having clarity of your own situation is necessary. Yes, it is indeed necessary. Clarity of your own situation. Well, what else?
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Uh, Nearby, thank you very much for the insights.
Mm-hmm.
For it is just a recap for us, for everyone to just look in ourselves and make or track ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I just want to ask you, like
Please.
in our professional lives,
Mm-hmm.
we are once we join for any of the positions. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
we work for 2 years, three
Mm-hmm.
years,
Mm-hmm.
but after 3 years we come into some position like we are not having the growth, or
Mm.
I am just understanding that this is the phenomena with most of the people. So
Mm-hmm.
can you recommend any book or something so
Okay.
for
So
this
first,
problem?
yeah, first let me understand your question clearly and repeat it over here. So what you say that when we enter our career or our professional life, after 2 to 3 years, we stop growing. And please correct me if I'm wrong. And we stop growing because of multiple factors, maybe. Maybe it is the level of motivation is lower, or it is because the environmental factors, or whatever. So you want me to recommend a book over here which can take you further. Am I right? Is this what you want?
Yes.
Okay. So my response to this is that a book will not help you in here, because I do not know what are the demotivating or what are the stopping factors from for you in your specific context that are stopping your growth. So maybe it is environmental factors, maybe it is the organization, it is something inside you, maybe it is the clarity of vision, or maybe it is the clarity of a strong purpose behind why are you doing what you're doing. So I would like to share some stories over here. So since being in Saudi Arabia, a lot of people come here and they try to find work. And I sincerely appreciate that you raised this question, because it reminded me of the story that I wanted to share, but I had forgotten completely. So a lot of people come here and they try to find some job over here. So I happened to meet a person who came here, and who he was a qualified IT engineer, having a 4 years degree, and he was not able to find a job and he found a job, but it was a very, what do you call, very small job with a very less pay, and he was not at all satisfied, so he left that job as well. I happened to meet him because he came with a reference, and I sat with him and spent an hour with him. And I really wanted to find out what he wanted, and what he wanted, what his strength, and so on and so forth. I came to understand that he had no clear vision about his vision, no clear vision about his career. Interestingly, when we started talking about the strengths, very few strengths that would support his vision, and very few skills, not even good communication skills. And he wanted to have some good jobs. More interesting than anything else was his interest in cooking. He said that I asked him in what ways you could be useful. You remember the question that I asked a few minutes before to you? In what ways you could be useful? He said, I can cook very good food. And you know what he said? He said, if there was nothing else in the world, I can cook food, and I can make my living. So, guy, if you're passionate about food, and if you are so good into it, and you are so confident about it, then what are you doing here finding a job? Why are you not doing what you are good at? It is fine that you have a 4 years degree. You can still cook and make a lot of good business out of it, and feel happy about that. The problem is that we spend so much of time in our degrees, and then we feel that we are compelled to do whatever that we have studied in our engineering, or other colleges. It is not necessary. As long as you're doing something which can benefit people, which can benefit you, and you feel good about doing that, you will have a lot and lot of energies. You will not work anymore. You will love it every day. It will throw you out of the bed every morning, because you will feel so much energetic about doing what you're doing. So, why, coming back to your point, why people get demotivated after 2 to 3 years? Because they do not have a clear vision. So no single book will help you develop a clear vision in your life. Well, who can help you? Some people who could mentor you, or a coach who can help you, sit down with you and develop the steps, and then can also help you walk through those steps with full focus and accountability. So this is what I suggest. I would like to give another example. So I hope the other people, if someone wants to leave, this is fine with me. If you want to stay, you are more than welcome. So another example is, okay. So another example, and then I'll go to the chat window again. So another example, I happen to meet a person who is again an IT engineer, and working in a company, and getting good salary as well, but not happy again. So when I asked him about his future aspirations and all that, he said, I would like to open a restaurant 10 years down the line. Well, why do you want to open a restaurant or food business? He says, because I love to eat food, and mashallah, he loves to eat food, and he says, I also know a lot about cooking, and I also love to hang out with people who cook well, and I also watch videos about good cooking, and so on and so forth. So I asked him that, if you are so much passionate about having your own food business, then why are you spending next 10 years in the IT business? He says that I would like to save some money so that I could open a big restaurant. Now, this was his vision. Maybe he is saving money, and he wants to open his restaurant after 10 years from now. Well, uh, it could be possible. Personally speaking, I don't agree with this vision. Why? Because why do you want to spend 10 golden years of your youth, when you have the energy, spending in something that you do not like, and not what you like? This is one thing. The other thing is that after 10 years, what is the surety that you'll have enough money, that you'll be able to open a good restaurant? Third thing is that any business, it grows organically, means inside out. You just don't spend a lot of money and open a restaurant, a big hi-fi restaurant. No, all the businesses, they grow inside out, because it takes a lot of experience, and grilling, and rubbing, and frictioning, to get you into the business, so that you can run what business you want to run. People, they jump from one business to the other. They are not able to maintain their success in either of them. So, long answer to your question, but it is, I believe it was important. So I want to, I am getting this opportunity. So I want to switch the context to some other people, another thing that I would like you to understand, not to you, but to everyone over here, that some people, when they reach their mid 40s, they start questioning themselves. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Why, why not? It is connected to my purpose of being here in this world. So I happened to speak to someone in United States over the phone many years back. The guy was around 43 years of age, and he was on a good job. The guy was extremely unhappy and dissatisfied. He says, I feel no energy in going to work every day in the morning. I just pull myself just to be able to get some money to feed my family and to pay my bills. I said, why? He said, because I don't feel like working for this company. There was a strong disconnect between his what he was doing and why he was doing that. So he wanted to do something of his own. So coming back to the point, this we call mid-career crisis, when people reach that stage and they start questioning. I would like to invite everyone over here who is young or senior or junior to have a strong purpose behind your career. What are you doing and why are you doing that? It's very important so that you don't start questioning when you reach at a later point in time, reach a later stage. A detailed reply to your question, but I hope I clarified the point that you wanted to ask, and I took the opportunity to clarify some of the other points that I wanted to talk about.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm. Any other question? Let me just go to my chat. There are some chat, some responses here. Scaling questions asked during the workshop are really insightful. All right, thank you. A reminder, thank you so much. All right. What else? There were several insights, but I feel most people will leave with several questions and will need to find answers. These are some of the practical action answers. Actually, this was the purpose of this running these posts at the end. I would like to, I wanted to shake you, to give you a jolt so that you can go back and think and don't think alone. I invite you to come and fill out a workshop, right? Guys, this is a free one-to-one session. Why do you want to miss this opportunity to have a self-reflection on your life? Okay, what else? Questions? How can, wait, this is scrolling fast. How can one find their passion, especially one that can lead to a career and cover the financial side of things? All right, so Imran, very good question. Well, something or the other, you are one is passionate about. Maybe you're passionate about food, maybe you're passionate about anything. Ask yourself how you can be useful to other people. So I was speaking to someone in one of the coaching conversations recently, and the guy did not have a job. But I asked him that, what do you think you are good at? Or tell me who you are when you are at your best. So he said, I am a teacher. I can teach people and I believe I can do it very well. Okay, go ahead and teach. So mashallah, he had already reached that stage where he had developed his capability to start teaching the youngsters. So mashallah, he was already on his journey. So I'm glad that he found his strength and he was able to leverage his strength by developing some skills where he could go and teach. So people who are not able to find their passion, I suggest that they should spend some time with themselves alone. Okay, which one book on developing habits you like most? Developing habits. Well, Bilal, it's all about what habits are you talking about? If it is habit, well, let me think. There's a very good book called Power of Habit. Let me type it here. Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. Power of Habit, Charles Duhigg. This book was published, I believe, in 2016. Very good book on habit. This is one, and then another book I could recommend on habit um, is Indistractable. Indistractable, Indistractable, Intractable, Indistractable by, okay, by Neer Eyal. Neer Eyal. This is also a very good book, Indistractable by Neil. So these are very good books on developing powerful habits. Okay, what else? How do you overcome the fear of failure? Okay, so fear of failure is something which, see, remember this. Fear means, well, Allah knows best whether the word is really means that, does it mean really that, or maybe it is a made up something. But fear is, as we see it, for false expectations appearing real. FEAR. False expectations appearing real. So most of the times the fear is actually a production of our mind. So if you feel that you cannot do it, most likely you are right, as Henry Ford says. But if you feel that you can do it, most probably you are right. So it all depends on our belief system, Furkan. So if you believe in something, you will see possibilities. When you see possibilities, you will do some actions. When you do some actions, you will find some results. It all depends on your belief. You see possibilities. Interestingly, the opposite is also true. If you don't believe in something, you don't do any actions. If you don't take any action, there are no possibilities, no action, no results either. And you say that, see, I had the fear, and my fears are always true. Yes, of course, your fears are going to be true because you believed in your fears. Okay, so I think we are done here, and with our presentation. I sincerely thank you again for coming up and showing up. And in the session, inshallah, we'll upload the recording. Abdul Rahman, if you can upload the recording in on our Facebook page. I hope you have already posted the link for the Facebook page, guys. You can go and watch, inshallah. And about the series, guys having aspirations about the career, we look forward to having your form on our email. Thank you so much. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that may Allah make this session beneficial for everyone around. And if there's been anything wrong, may Allah forgive me. It's part of me, and may Allah make it beneficial for everyone. Jazakallah khair. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta. Nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.